Hello everybody, I hope you're well and you have had wonderful weekends. I had a lovely one. It was my birthday yesterday, so I got to spend Saturday with my mum and then yesterday with some of my most favourite people. So that was a really lovely way to spend the weekend. But I'm back in today and it's, guidance of the week. So this week I'm going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. It's by Colette Baron-Reid. I've had it for a little while, but I haven't really used it. So I thought this week, we're going to bond. We're going to get there with it. So just going to do a little card pull. So I'm just going to give them a little knock. Ooh, and a bit of a shuffle. They are very slippy. They're very slidey. So we are just going to give them a little bit of a shuffle. Hopefully not send them all over the place. And then we are going to see what this week has got in store for us. But apparently the weather's going to be a little bit better, which is really nice. Let's go for that one. Interesting. When I was doing the initial shuffle, this one fell out. So this is orphaned. So this is looking at that part of yourself this week that potentially feels lonely. So it's that really weird thing I find in modern society where we can be utterly surrounded by people. We can have people sat next to us at work, on the bus, people living in our homes, our family, but we can sometimes feel really lonely. And it's a really interesting kind of, I think, indictment of modern society that actually you can be surrounded by people and be alone. If you think back to like our grandparents' generation where you knew everybody on your street, even as a child, I can remember going out and playing on my street. When was the last time that you saw kids out? I mean, I know it's a lot more dangerous now. Cars travel a lot faster in residential areas than they really should. So I kind of understand that, but actually I think it's that getting to know the people around you, checking in on the people around you. We do live in a society where we can be quite blinkered and we just kind of concentrate on us and we concentrate on what's going on in our lives, that we kind of forget that there are people out there that perhaps are struggling a little bit as well. And I think this kind of ties into my Reiki healing and that kind of aspect of my life and my sort of well-being, and making sure that people don't feel lonely and they don't feel orphaned and they don't feel that sort of dread that you get when you don't think that anyone is paying attention and that nobody's there for you. It's very rarely the case, but sometimes our brains can make us think like that. Anxiety, depression, all of those things are wrapped up in this kind of environment, and potentially something that is going to be a thing for this week. So just kind of keep an eye out for it, and just make sure that if you are looking at the people around you and something, trust your gut. If something feels a little bit off with someone, just check in on them. If you've got that friend that you've perhaps not spoken to for ages, check in on them, drop them a message. I am terrible for this. Some of my best friends, some of my closest friends don't live near me. One of them moved 5 hours away, and I am not taking it personally, but actually we probably don't speak as much as we should do. I know she's been on holiday recently. So Rachel, I'm coming for you this week. I'm going to check in on you. I'm going to make sure you're all right. Don't feel like you are alone. And I think that's what this card is coming in to tell us. We might look at the deep, dark thoughts of ourselves. We might go inwards and go, oh, I feel really alone. But don't. Try not to. And it is really hard. I know, I have been in those dark places. But actually, if you can look and kind of speak to the people around you, and I know it can be really hard, but sometimes just drop a text. And if you really feel like there is nobody around you that you want to speak to, drop me a message. I am more than happy to check in. I'm more than happy to make sure that you're all right. I will talk to you. I will listen to you, because I think that's another thing. Sometimes people are afraid of, reaching out when they feel like they're in this sort of state where they're isolated, because they don't necessarily want advice. And that's absolutely fine. And I saw something came up on one of my social media feeds, and it was a bit of a conversation about when you have those really dark days, and do you want advice? Do you just want to rant, or do you just want me to listen? And actually, I think that's a really interesting concept that we perhaps as society don't really listen to, because actually sometimes, I know for example, sometimes I just want to rant at someone, don't want advice, don't even really necessarily need them to listen. I just want to get it off my chest. And I think that's, again, another thing that we can do. So if you are feeling a little bit low, or you think there's someone around you that's feeling a little bit low, try and reach out to them this week. Try and see if, by making contact with another person, it won't necessarily fix all your problems, and it won't necessarily stop that thought process, but you won't be on your own and you won't be dealing with it on your own. So it's a bit of a deep one this week. So, you know, it's not always sunshine. Sorry, I just realised that I have an incense stick burning and it just completely wafted into screen. So don't feel like you're alone. I think that's the key to this week. If you think there are people around you that perhaps need a little bit of extra support, reach out to them. Don't feel like you're alone. There are loads of resources out there. Like I said, I am more than happy to speak to somebody. I'm more than happy to speak to people on a personal basis, just if you know me, but I'm also, you know, more than happy to speak to someone from a healing basis as well. So that's this week. You know, keep an eye out on those people around you and just sort of see what's going on. Like I said, a little bit deep, but I think sometimes what these cards, specifically this deck, do is they kind of poke at those little bits that perhaps are, you know, a little bit unpleasant and you don't really want to kind of go to. But hopefully that's been really useful. Like I said, just keep an eye out for this week, and if you do start to feel a little bit lonely, or you think there are people around you that do, just reach out, just talk to them, and hopefully that will kind of help things. But in other news, so I'll be back doing the card of the week and the pick of the week and whatever it is I decide to call it, because I swear it changes every week. I have started building the website. I'm very excited, and I'm also not very good at it, so just bear with me on that one. Hopefully what I'm kind of going to put in place is, you know, a really nice landing page where you can kind of learn a little bit more about me, a little bit about what I do. There will be the ability to book sessions, whether that's Reiki sessions or whether that's cards, and I'm also hoping to build kind of a bit of a blog, a bit of an article area, just where I can share some sort of my own sort of ramblings and the things that are in my head that I think might be useful for other people. So that is really, really exciting. It's just taking me a little bit longer because whilst I work, my day job is in software. I am not a technical person, so the concept of building a website was a little bit terrifying, but thankfully there's loads of templates out there, so it's going a little bit better than I thought it was. But I will let you know when that's starting to launch, because it'll be very exciting. But have a fantastic week. Like I said, I'll be back in with perhaps a few more videos and a bit of a chat later. But if you need anything, or if you want to get in touch, do just drop me a message. You've got all of the links are on the socials, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.